Hi everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Building Capability in an AI Agent Step by Step. So in episode 1, we built the AI Mentor Agent, and in this episode, we will add our own knowledge base to that agent. So for example, if I go here and ask something like, what is vector database, check my notes, and I click on enter, you will see that something is happening here, and I want the agent to refer to my knowledge document when it does that. Okay. And this is happening little differently than all the RAG tutorials that you see generally. So if you see here, it says agent used tool search knowledge base, which means my RAG is also embedded as one of the tool. That is first thing you should note here. And second thing is you are getting information about vector databases and so on and so forth. And in the end, if you see, it says sources retrieved. So vector database.md is one document where it found similarity of 0.44. Okay. How to learn AI is another document where it found similarity of 0.14. NLP learning roadmap is another document where it found similarity of 0.10. So basically it is finding similarity with different knowledge sources that I have given, and since vector database.md is the most close one, so it takes the reference from this one. This is how RAG works, and you might be having idea on this, right? But how I have embedded RAG in this, I will show you now. Before that, this is episode 2 of the series, and in episode 1 we built the basic agent and chat functionality. If you go to Unfold Data Science on YouTube, this video, build your AI tutor in 10 minutes, is the episode 1. As you can see, part 1 is written here. Here we have built an AI tutor agent, and today we are adding RAG capability in that agent. If I go to UI, you can see the knowledge base is coming. 4 chunks indexed from 4 documents, and these are the documents that have been indexed that we saw here, right? So this is at high level how the application is working when RAG is operational. Okay. And as I told you, a little bit background of what we are doing and why we are doing this. So there are a lot of new terms coming in the agentic world. I want you to be very clear on what are those and how to add those in your agent. So we have done agentic tool and chat. Today we are doing RAG. Next episode we will do memory. After that we will do multi-step reasoning. Then we will add MCP, and we will add observability. And if you are interested, we will add deployment to AWS as well. Okay. So let's go and understand a little bit more on E2. That is, how did I add the knowledge or RAG? The traditional way that most of you would be knowing of how RAG works is like this. So suppose this is the user and this is the LLM. So what you do is you put a knowledge in between. Okay, this knowledge can be in form of document stored in a vector DB or locally or so on. And then when user asks the query to LLM, first it goes to this knowledge, it sees if something matching is there, combines that with the user prompt, sends it to the LLM, and then user receives the response. This is basically 3-step process of RAG. 1, 2, 3. The problem with this RAG is, if you don't define this as a tool, right, what happens is, for everything user is asking, the system will try to find something here, and on many occasions, right, this is an unnecessary overhead on the system. Suppose in this knowledge document, I don't have any information about interview prep. Okay, I don't have any information about interview prep, but still when I'm firing a query, help me to prepare for interview, maybe it will try to match something and bring something and so on. So in my case, what I have done is I have done a different type of RAG that you should know, and this is very famous nowadays in the AI world. Okay, basically you add RAG capability as a tool. If you remember last episode 1, right, if you have not watched, you can go and watch this video. This is just a 20-minute video. This project has 3 tools. Okay, what I'm doing here is, there was 3 tools before. 3 tools before. Now I'm adding one more tool for RAG, and there is a reason why I'm building it like this, guys. Okay, because I want you to understand how the incremental capability is built inside a project. Okay, so previously there was 3 tools. Now there is one more tool with RAG capability or knowledge search capability. What you see here in the red color is a standalone RAG. Normally what you will see on YouTube and other places is people will show you this demo. For example, chat with PDF, chat with your own document, and so on. So this is basically a standalone RAG application that people will show you. I'm trying to show you, you can add RAG as one of the tool, have more capability of your system, and then RAG is also there. Okay. Now some people will ask me, what is the advantage of this? Advantage of this is very simple. No change in working of agent. So basically the way agent works, right, the way agent flow works, that core flow remains unchanged, and I'm adding more capabilities. And the meaning of agentic AI is agent should decide when to call which tool, when to take what action, and when to bring what result. So I don't want to build a standalone RAG here. I want to build something where RAG capability is also there, tool capability is also there. Many things are there inside this, which we will be in our upcoming videos, we will be keep building on that. Now a very small recap of 2 parts of RAG. So in interview, right, if somebody asks you how RAG works basically in 2 steps. Number 1, number 2. Number 1 is when you build your knowledge base. Okay, so this process is called indexing. And number 2 is when you retrieve that knowledge. Okay, retrieve. 2-step process of RAG. First, what I will do, I will store my knowledge, and second, what I will do, I will retrieve when I need it. Indexing happens once. Okay, I am writing here, this is once, only one time you do it, and this happens every time you chat, or every time you search that knowledge, or every time that tool is getting called. So I will say repetitive. Now what are the steps here? Very simple, 2-step process. If you have little background of vector database or RAG, you will know what I am saying. If you don't have, let me give you a solid video that you can watch. Go to Unfold Data Science again and search for Unfold Data Science RAG on YouTube, and you will find here 2 videos. One is 30 minutes long, build end-to-end RAG pipeline, and second, and my recommendation is, this is 3-hour long video. This is basically 2 live sessions I took. Here you will know everything right from building to deploying RAG in AWS. Everything I have done here. Okay, this was 2 live videos that I did, 1.5 hours each, I think. If you watch this video, RAG concept will be very clear to you, and this one also you can watch 30 minutes. But I'm just trying to tell you, in indexing it's very simple. There is 2-step process. First, you split the document into chunks, which means you split the document into smaller parts. Suppose I give you a 1000-page PDF. You don't upload everything together. You just break it into parts and then upload. And then what you do is you create embeddings of those documents, or chunks, embeddings, and then what you do, you store. Okay, this is what happens in indexing. Very simple. The document will be broken into pieces, embedding will be created, and those embeddings will be stored in the vector DB, or locally also you can store, your choice. And if somebody wants to understand embeddings, there is a very nice video I created, how embeddings work in LLM. Search Unfold Data Science embeddings. Watch this video. Your embedding concept will be absolutely clear in 20 minutes. That is my promise to you. Okay. So embedding and then storage, that's it. And this is your indexing part done. And when we come of retrieving part is nothing but this that I explained you here. User comes, fires a query, that query will be embedded and searched in the knowledge base. Once search happens, then the matching thing will be returned to LLM, and then LLM sends the response. So it's very simple. Again, it will start from user query. Okay, user query will be embedded, so I'm saying embedding. After embedding, what we need to do? Matching from the knowledge base. Once the knowledge base matching happens, then return or retrieve based on similarity. Retrieve the knowledge, and then LLM response. Why I am telling you all this step is basically these are the new functionalities we have built in our code. That is the reason I gave you this much of detail, so that when I walk you through code, you will understand why this is important, right? Now let's go ahead and try to see how easy it is to build the code base and how easy it is to work with RAG. Here is the GitHub, guys, and one important thing here, every time I create a new episode, I will create a new branch for that. For example, here you can see episode 1 branch is there, and here you will see episode 2 branch which I did today. Okay, episode 2 branch. So for future also you will see episode 3 and so on, but updated code will always be there in main. Okay, so that is the first thing to understand. Second thing is, what are the new things added when we added RAG capability? So the RAG folder was empty. If you go to episode 1, this RAG folder was empty because there was no RAG functionality. So if you change here episode 1, right, you will see there are no files here. Okay, but if you go to main, you will see files. Now remember what I told you happens in RAG. First of all, you need to store your information, right? So I will say build index and chunker. So this chunker, this embedding, this build index, all these are for that purpose only. So if I go here, right, chunk text, what is the meaning of this? Breaking your text into small components that can be stored or that can be put in a way that comparison can happen. This is this file chunker. Okay, then you will see here is the file embeddings. We are using a text embedding model. As I told you, any confusion in embedding, refer to this video. It's very simply it will be very simple for you. Embedding will be created. These are two files, chunking, embedding, and then you will see here something known as build index. I told you we need to store that somewhere, right? Our knowledge base. So here documents will be loaded, and here chunk text is being called to break those documents. Embedding is being called to embed those documents, and then store is equal to vector store, and then we are storing here. Okay, so these are the things we are doing ourselves. And one thing, important thing here, I am not using any vector database here. I am just creating my own vector store. If you see here, from rag.vectorstore import vector store, and if you go to rag.vectorstore, right, you will see that my own logic is here. There is no Pinecone or no ChromaDB or anything here. It's very simple, my own search functionality, just to make you understand what happens under the hood when you use a vector store. So nothing fancy happens. Data gets stored in form of embedding, and when the new query comes, it gets compared. That same thing is happening here. See, query embedding, and then top k will be given based on how much matching we want. This is basically a functionality. So we are storing and we are comparing. That thing is happening here. Okay, so if you see here, save, load, that is for those purposes only. Okay, so vector storage, our own store, we are not using any vector database. But if you want to understand vector DB, go here and search vector DB, and you will find vector database video as well. I'm giving you a lot of videos, guys. You have to just tell me in comment that these videos are useful. If you go and watch these videos, right, you will see comments and you will understand that these videos will be very useful for you. So in this end-to-end RAG project also I have explained vector DB. Go and watch that. But normally when somebody explains you RAG, they will explain you using vector DB, which I have done also in the past. But in this one I have created my own build index and my own vector DB file, basically something from the scratch. Okay, and then embedding, loader, chunker. So if you go to loader, it will simply load the documents, and documents will be loaded from where? I have some documents. Let me show you that. If you go to documents folder here, you will see 4 documents, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, one document talks about how to learn ML. If you see here, this is the document which talks about how to learn ML. This is my knowledge source. Okay, the second document talks about NLP learning roadmap. See here, this is my knowledge source. Okay, this is the knowledge I have given to system. The third document talks about prompt engineering. So here, what is a prompt, system prompt, user prompt, few short chain of thoughts, and so on. And fourth document talks about vector embedding. So some ML knowledge I am giving. If you remember, in the beginning I asked what is cosine similarity, and it fetched this document. So 4 documents are there in document folder. Those 4 documents only will be fetched and loaded. Okay, so this covers entire RAG functionality of our project, and there are very few changes in rest of the project. The reason being, as I told you, project is built in such a way that we can build things on top of each other. Okay, so what are the things that has been changed after putting the functionality in RAG? So very simple. If you go to tools, you will find a new tool here. So I'm in main, go to tools, not this tool, app tools, actually app tools and definitions, and you will find a new tool here. So previously we had generate roadmap, we had explain concepts, and we had recommend projects. Now we have one more, search knowledge base. Okay, and if you remember here, it used that tool, agent used tool search knowledge base. So I wanted it to use that tool. That's why I am saying check my notes. So agent used search knowledge base tool, and here search knowledge base is there. There are some descriptions, search the knowledge, search the learners on base, their notes, cheat sheet, call them, and then the usual things. Okay, then if you go to services and tutor.py, right, you will see that here we are giving this thing, search knowledge base, which tool to call. As I told you, right, we need to give small updates only. That makes our project more modular and more flexible. Okay, and here you will see search knowledge base function, same way like we have recommend project, same way like we have explain concept. And then if you go to prompt, you will see in tutor.py I have added one more thing for knowledge base. So this is a system prompt, this is a roadmap prompt, this will be a concept prompt, this will be a project prompt, and one more will come now for RAG prompt. Okay, answer the learner's query blue on this, and so on. This is a new thing that we have added. And if you go to UI, there are few things that we have done in UI to show you. Basically you saw here, right, on the left hand side some things were showing. On the left hand side, index document is showing, right, which documents are indexed. So that thing we can see here, and in UI sources retrieved you can see, right, so that thing also you can see. So if you see here, you will see that for the indexed, whenever we are loading document, that document will come and display here, and if there is no knowledge retrieved, it will say no knowledge base indexed yet. Okay, so that part we are giving in UI. And let's go ahead and try to write. I also want to show you something interesting here. For example, if you see here in one of my knowledge document, how to learn AI. Okay, let's go here, and let's go to another one. I want to show you a better example. Let's take something from here, for example, chain of thought prompting. Okay, so I will say, what is chain of thought prompting? What is chain of thought prompting? And let's say I expect it to use my knowledge base. Okay, but you will see that it will not necessarily use the knowledge base, and I will tell you why. See here, explain concept is being used. Okay, explain concept is also one of the tool, but I was hoping that it will use knowledge base tool, but it is not using. It is using explain concept tool. Do you know why? It is using because we have told use this tool in this situation. So if you go to tools and if you go to definitions.py, the way we have defined tools is we are saying generate roadmap should be called when user asks for study plan, learning path, curriculum or roadmap. Okay, and here what was called? Here explain concept was called. So if I go here, right, in explain concept, you will see explain an AIML concept. Call this when user asks to explain, define or understand a specific concept or term. Due to this instruction here, it is using that tool, not the knowledge base. Okay, get this difference. If I want to force it to use my knowledge base, right, then I will ask the same query and I will say use my knowledge base. Use my notes, let's say, and let me see what happens. In use my notes, I am hoping it should go to my knowledge base. Yes, it is going, as you can see. So this is how it is working. And what we are going to do now is, in the next episode, is we are going to make this agent capable of remembering you, so that you don't need to come again and again and say the same thing to the agent. Basically, we will add memory. If you are enjoying this series, guys, you have to let me know in comment, and then I will come up with videos, with more dense videos. But you have to let me know in comment. And these 4-5 videos that I gave you will give you solid foundation of many things in LLM space. Go ahead and watch that. And I will see you all in the next video, guys. Wherever you are, stay safe and take care.